This is episode 5 of the MMA On Tap podcast. Today we got a bottle, not a what's the other thing called?
Not our cans.
Not a can.
God.
But today's beer I got, and it's called the Flying Dog Raging Bitch. It's a Belgian-style IPA. Definitely just bought it based off the name, and then also it's an 8.3% alcohol. So I thought, why not fuck around? And
Right up our alley.
yeah, it's right up our alley. Better than well, I haven't even tried it, but I bet it's better than Steel Reserve. But yeah, let's try it and let me see what you think of it.
Cheers.
Out of 5. Ooh, I like this. Actually, the aftertaste is kind of very strong.
Because it's an IPA. It's kind of hoppy.
Yeah, I do. What do you think of the logo?
Yeah, let's talk
Looks
about
like a
that.
zombie dog.
It looks like a zombie dog.
I don't know.
Very graphic drawing. I mean,
I like it, though.
it's got a weird tail and stuff.
Yeah. What's your rating out of 5?
Man. Good IPA, but off of taste, 3. I'm giving it a 3, but that 8.3, that makes this a 3.38.
It's 3.73 out of 5, so yeah, not too bad. It says 250 calories for every beer, but
Who's counting?
I'm trying to pack the pounds on, so anyways. Yeah, it's not too bad. Actually, I really kind of don't like it, because it was... And it was
what's your rating?
too. I would give it like a 2.2 out of 5. I'm just not feeling it, but...
It's bitter aftertaste. It's getting
Yeah,
more bitter.
the aftertaste doesn't match with me, but whatever. It's better than a Steel Reserve, I'd say. Maybe it's not, but there's been so much UFC news or fights that are coming up, and now Conor McGregor versus Floyd Mayweather is picking up. So
8 days out.
8 days out. We're going to be talking about that at the end, but there's a bunch of UFC fights that were announced this week, and I want to talk about those, but I have to start off with some bad news, some news that came out today, and that is that Dos Santos pulled out of 215 due to a potential USADA violation against Ngannou. Well, he's basically he was pulled out. Yeah. He's pulled out from the card, and Ngannou tweeted, "I'm very, very angry. Almost done with training camp, and they just announced that my opponent is out." So, seems like it's pretty much official that fight isn't happening.
I'm just curious what he was on. It's Junior Dos Santos. He's always seemed like the most straight-laced, like super nice guy. You would never think he'd be one of the guys.
Yeah.
Doping, but I mean, they might all be doing it. So.
But you know what? They haven't come out and said he was flagged. It doesn't mean that it was official, but he's pulled from the card because there's a potential violation. I agree with you. I thought that he was always a clean athlete, but you never know. And we can't prove him guilty because he hasn't been proven that yet. So you just have to hope for the best. And I don't know.
Yeah, and it could be something not steroids related.
You never know.
To. Yeah, it could just. I mean, a lot of things will trigger that flag. So maybe it was just an oversight on his part. But that's very unfortunate because that was the fight I was looking most forward to on 215.
Yeah, that's the same with me. Like I was really wanting to see that fight, but
can they do a late replacement? Is there anybody?
I don't know who'd want to
fight Ngannou on such short notice.
Yeah, so
you're not going to do well.
Yeah, so I'd say that he's going to get pulled, Ngannou from the card. That's a major bummer, but
that's a huge bummer.
People were worried about Junior Dos Santos. That's what most people thought was Ngannou was just going to walk all over Dos Santos, and I'm not going to lie, I was going to pick Dos Santos, which I guess people think is crazy.
I was not going to pick Dos Santos, but
maybe it's because I'm like so much of a fan, but it's just a major bummer. Hopefully if it is something, he will be out for a while, which kind of sucks, but he's been knocked out recently in this fight, so maybe the time off is best for him. I mean, he got knocked out just a few months ago, and here he's fighting Ngannou, which people are like, he's going to knock out Dos Santos. So maybe it's good for his brain. Maybe it could end up being positive. I don't know. But for fight fans.
It's a major letdown.
It's a major letdown.
That was the highlight of the card.
But there were some great fights announced this week. So many great fights that I can't even wait. Like we might just talk about them, mention them for a minute, but we might make like unofficial predictions, but we'll see. We're going to start off talking about Anthony Pettis and Dustin Poirier. I didn't even know about it till you told me just a few minutes ago, and that fight is both their styles. It will be
a stand-up battle.
It'll be a stand-up battle, and definitely a potential fight of the night. I don't know how that fight couldn't be interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't see either of them really trying to take it to the ground. They're both stand-up guys first.
Who did Pettis just beat? Was it Jim Miller?
Yeah, it was. Remember, you picked Jim Miller.
Yeah, I know. Now I remember. I didn't know if he fought.
The sting, the burn of the.
That was dumb. That was me like picking someone that I really liked, and I should have picked Pettis. That was stupid. Too, you were the one that convinced me to pick Jim Miller. You're like, you like him, just pick him. I'm like, all right, fine. And then I regretted it like 10 minutes into. Or 10 seconds
I also
into
convinced you into picking Sam Alvey over Rashad. So you're welcome on that. So.
I appreciate.
I saved you some. I lose you some.
But I'm going to do an unofficial pick. I think Poirier. I just don't think Pettis did look good against Jim Miller, but okay. Nope, never mind. I have no idea who's going to win this. This is a toss-up for me.
It's a toss-up, but it's going to be exciting. I think
that's all
Poirier
that matters,
has a little bit. I like his stand-up a little bit more, but I think in terms of tools on the feet, Pettis has a little bit more options, especially with his kicks, and then his jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know what's going to happen, but I cannot wait for that fight. Yeah, super fun. I can't wait for that. The one that I think got me most excited that I heard this week was Matt Brown versus Diego Sanchez.
Me too.
Because that is guaranteed violence.
That is the fight of the year, potentially. Right there.
Yeah, we'll see.
It's two savages, barbarians, just going at it.
Yeah.
Isn't that Matt's name, the Barbarian? No.
Walter, that's Tim Boge.
I know it's Tim Boge.
I'm not going to give you any hints. You're going to have to tell me right now.
The immortal Matt Brown.
Thank you. I was like, I'm not going to. You know what it is.
And then Diego, the Dream.
Who knows what he goes
back to? If he goes back to Nightmare, he's winning. That's when he was at his prime. He was the Nightmare. No one wants the Dream. That's
the Dream.
Easy. The Dream.
The Mohawk. Oh, getting knocked out by Joe Lozon, Walter.
Leave him alone.
And there's
through a lot.
I'm picking Matt Brown, and I know you want Matt Brown, but you have to take Diego because he's your boy.
I would never pick Matt Brown over Diego.
Good. I'm glad because
Diego's going to liver kick him, and it'll be over.
He hasn't gotten a finish since like 2007.
Yeah,
it's been like 10 years. Matt Brown's the guy because his body is susceptible.
It's a soft body.
Yeah, it's a soft body.
I don't see him knocking out Diego. So.
I do. I'm going to pick him by knockout in the first round. Because Diego's good. Dude, Joe Lozon knocks him out at lightweight. Matt Brown can knock him out at welterweight. Because he's fat at welterweight. He's old. He's like, I'm done. Like, I'm here just to make money. You know that Matt Brown can knock him out at heavyweight. Or at heavyweight. At welterweight.
We'll see.
But guaranteed violence. Cannot wait for that fight.
That's going to be a great fight.
And now we're going down to the 216 card announced this week. Walter broke it down for me, said that Bobby Green is fighting Lando Veneta. Tremendous fight. I mean,
Lando burst onto the scene. This is going to be his third UFC fight.
Third or fourth. I feel like I think he's had three.
I think he's only had two.
Okay.
He fought some dude. I can't remember what his name was. The first one, it was that spinning back.
I know, yeah.
Knockout. And then he fought Tony Ferguson.
Yep.
They threw him in against Tony.
I think they did Tony first. I don't know.
No.
Okay.
No. But then I think Tony was second, and that was an amazing fight. He actually stunned Tony. Which
crazy.
We were like, wow.
No, his first fight was against Tony Ferguson.
Oh, damn.
Yep, and he lost by... Because it was a short note. I think he was supposed to fight, Khabib maybe?
Submitted.
Or something.
He got submitted.
Yeah, do you remember? Yeah, right.
Well, that's Tony.
Give me nuts on that. That's his joke.
That's a great submission.
But that was the big thing is... I remember we didn't know who Lando Veneta was.
No.
Who he was.
No one knew
in his first fight against Tony Ferguson. All I knew, and I told you, I remember while we watched the fight, was he trains at Greg Jackson's, and they are high on this guy. Like, he was 8-0 before coming to the UFC, and then he rocked him, and then it was I think it was fight of the night. So he got the bonus, and then I remember I DM'd him. I didn't only tweet Lando, but I direct messaged him, and I was just like, dude, even though you lost, me and my buddy were going crazy. That was an insane fight. You have a new fan. And then he responded like a week later. He's like, thanks, dude. Appreciate it. Oh. And I was like, dude, anytime Lando fights, I'm on board. And then his second fight in the UFC, he fought John McDessie, and that's when he got the wheel kick, was his second fight.
McDessie, which isn't a slouch of a fight either.
He's old school. It was him fighting like a older fighter. But not too old, but like he's been there, done that. Yeah. So when he did that, I was like, he's legit. And then he actually lost by decision his third fight in the UFC, his last one against David Timur, which honestly I don't remember that fight. But here's the thing: he's 1-2 in the UFC. His one win was a performance of the night, but his 2 losses were fight of the night. So you're losing, but you're getting the extra 50 G's. So
you can be the worst person in your division. If you come out and have a fight of the night, I'm your fan.
Yep.
I just want to see good fights. I don't care if you're number one, if you're the champ and all you're getting are decisions.
It's all
I
about.
don't care. I'd rather watch a guy. I want to see good fights.
It's all about entertaining the fans. That's what we watch.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
and those guys who go out who don't. I mean, not that he doesn't care. I just love his stand-up style. He's so unique. There are those few guys who have just that such a unique and just free stand-up style, and he's definitely one of them. So very excited for his fights. Always tuned in.
That's the thing.
Always will tune in. So.
It's the fighters that we want to watch. That's what I care about most. Super fights are good and all, but like Lando, nobody. If you're not a casual fan, you're just kind of tuning in. You're like, I don't even know what this is, but
even
this is
a
a good
casual
fight.
fan might not know him.
Even yeah, that's true because he's 1-2 in the UFC. But when his name is on the card, I'm excited. And facing Bobby Green, I'm a huge Bobby Green fan because he just likes to showboat while he's fighting. And, like, if he gets kicked or something, he'll just brush off his shoulder. But, like, is that all you got?
He's a tough dude. He is very tough.
But Dustin Poirier knocked him out recently.
Yeah, Dustin Poirier is good, though.
All right. So it's going to be a great fight. Lando is my pick, and I'm sticking with it. I love Bobby Green, but I'm such a huge fan of Lando. I think he's going to knock out Bobby Green, but I'm not sure. It's unofficial picks. On 216, one of the big fights that got announced was Tony Ferguson and Kevin Lee for the interim lightweight belt. No Khabib. No Khabib. No Khabib.
Shout out to Joey.
And I like this fight better than the Khabib fight. I did want to see the stylistic matchup between Tony Ferguson and Khabib, but Khabib is kind of boring if Tony got taken down and Khabib could hold him down and Tony couldn't do his jiu-jitsu from bottom. It could be boring potentially. Kevin Lee versus Tony, it gets me super excited. Stand-up it's going to be stand-up.
I agree. It will be more...
And Kevin Lee can win this fight. He's a great promoter. One of the best up-and-comers that... He does the interviews. He promotes himself. He's kind of different from everyone else, and he knows he's kind of, and he's trained with Floyd in the past. Floyd's kind of helped him out a little bit, and so I think he kind of knows the business side. So I feel like he earned this, and here he is going on top.
I'm kind of sick of interim belts, but they're going to keep doing it.
It has to happen because Connor's out. Who knows what Connor's doing? They need it. You don't think so? They have to.
I mean, listen, it makes them more money. It's a way of them making more money. But
and that's all they care about.
In no way are any of them. It's like giving it's just like a fake belt. That's really what it is.
That's true.
I don't know. Fine, but interim belts have just become placeholders so guys can get there who are going for super fights, don't have to fight. A little bit annoying, but I mean...
Can I ask
if they didn't have that, then we wouldn't see Conor Mayweather, which I'm fine with.
Yep.
So.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
You may. If you are like just someone kind of that watches MMA occasionally and you hear there's a pay-per-view and you're like, okay, Kevin Lee is fighting Tony Ferguson, or you're just kind of tuning in and it says, for the interim, which you ignore, but interim lightweight championship, Kevin Lee versus Tony Ferguson. that gets you a little bit more excited. So you kind of have to do that.
I mean, marketing, yeah, absolutely, but
from a marketing side, you have
exactly.
to do it.
But then they have, I don't know. It's fine. I don't really care that they threw that in there. It could just be a fight. Couldn't be a fight.
We can see 5 rounds. It could be an extra 2 rounds.
That's true.
You know,
it's going to be a 5-round.
It's going to be a hell of a fight.
Yeah, this one will be more interesting probably, but I got to think, why did they give it to Kevin Lee? I know he just beat Chiesa.
Yep.
He looks pretty good. He's promising. He's young. But they were thinking after this fight, they're like, all right, this person's going to fight McGregor next. All right, do we want to give it to Tony or Kevin Lee instead of Khabib? Did they not give it to Khabib because of they didn't want him? Because that's probably Conor's hardest challenge at the moment in the UFC. At lightweight.
What they want to do, or what Conor has said he wants to do, but Conor does say a bunch of stuff, but I think that he wants the Khabib fight because he knows that he wants to do it in Russia because he knows that it'll be their first event, UFC, and it'll be huge. Like, we're talking an arena. So I don't think that fight is off the table. I honestly think that, Dana said that he said that Khabib was injured, so that's why they didn't book the fight. But then the next day, Khabib was shown, like, hitting a bag, like, he's fine.
They
I don't know.
Probably don't trust Khabib making weight
that's
as well. Huge. Yeah, because having him pull out, that's just the worst.
And with Kevin Lee, like I said, he's been promoting the shit out of himself. Like, he's been doing his game. And I think Tony isn't... He's a great fighter. We enjoy watching him, but he's just not a great promoter. Like, he doesn't really promote. His trash talk
needs some work.
You're not on Twitter, but I follow him on Twitter. He just tweeted something to McGregor yesterday, and it was I'm like, you sound so dumb.
You're trying to.
You have the same manager, first of all, so it's all bullshit because you're working under the same guy. But anyways, I think they just picked Kevin Lee because he's been promoting himself. If he beats Tony and gets the interim belt, this could be a potential superstar on the way. And I'm not superstar for UFC, a big star, because trash game, he just doesn't give a fuck. They
like those guys. Yeah. They're just worried about selling McGregor. I think McGregor, if he had to choose between those three, he wants to fight Kevin Lee.
Yeah, and Kevin Lee McGregor, I think, is huge. He can talk about training with Floyd. If Floyd beats Conor and Conor comes back, he can talk about training with Floyd. Like, I think I'm very happy. So, would you prefer Khabib Tony or Kevin Lee Tony?
Kevin Lee Tony, just out of entertainment factor,
agree.
But I want to see Khabib. I want to see Khabib versus McGregor more than anything. I think that is his hardest.
You'd rather see that over Nate Diaz versus Conor McGregor?
Well, I'd want to see that, but I think Khabib is the best lightweight by far.
Yeah, he is.
I don't think there's much argument there, even including McGregor. But I don't know. He's got issues cutting down the lightweight clearly. But who cares? Make it at a catchweight.
Tony said that he would fight him at welterweight, but
I just think Khabib's the best guy in that general weight class area, just in terms of winning an MMA fight. I don't think anybody's more likely to do it than Khabib. He's going to take you down, and his wrestling is so dominant. Like, you're not going to knock him out in time. What I wanted, and I wish they hadn't done this before, was book freaking Gaethje and Eddie Alvarez. Leave Gaethje open. Now it's Tony Ferguson, Gaethje. Put them in a ring, and then when Gaethje wins, Gaethje McGregor. I would love that.
Yes.
But they booked him with Eddie.
Oh,
right.
dude,
I don't care about Eddie Gaethje. I don't care about Eddie Alvarez. Honestly.
Oh, my gosh.
I'm sorry, Eddie. He seems like a really nice guy, but after his fight with McGregor, that was pretty sad to watch.
Oh, my gosh. What you just said was insane, dude.
Yeah,
Gaethje
imagine if that had happened. Well, Gaethje Ferguson. Start out with that. That's a fun fight.
Oh, no, that's great. And I'm on board. That is one of the best fights
McGregor's going to happen.
Gaethje McGregor. Oh, dude.
Gaethje McGregor's going to happen. That'll be insane.
I don't think I would be more excited for any other fight in my life unless it was Gaethje.
And here's how it would go down. And this is why it would be so fun.
Break it down.
Well, I won't break down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
well,
but I mean, I'll break it down because this is going to hype you even more.
Oh,
McGregor gets a few early shots, gets confident just like he did against Nate, loses, gasses himself out a bit, and Gaethje just comes back and just puts the pound down. McGregor's not good once he's tired, and I mean, a lot of people aren't, but I mean, once he gets tired and starts getting pounded on.
Dude, I think we just...
But Gaethje's never been hit by someone like...
That's the thing. Because he did get rocked against Michael Johnson, but Michael Johnson does hit hard. But he got rocked twice.
Got power, too.
He's got power, but McGregor would knock the fuck out of Michael
out.
Johnson. Yeah. Dude.
I don't know. Michael Johnson could hold his own against
nobody... McGregor, I'm on Twitter all day. MMA journalists. Nobody has even been like, dude, Justin Gaethje and Conor McGregor. That's... the greatest thing in life right
just
now.
Scrap Eddie Alvarez and Gaethje. Make it Eddie Alvarez, Kevin Lee. Have those two fight. Kevin Lee beat him. I think he would. Gaethje, Tony Ferguson, great fight. And then if Gaethje wins, Gaethje McGregor. That's going to be such a fun fight. But nobody knows Gaethje yet. So.
And nobody knows what Conor McGregor's doing. He could fight again in boxing. You just never know.
Yeah, I've heard rumors of a rematch.
Yeah, so
of just a rematch. So,
but
can you blame him for not wanting a rematch too? We'll get into that.
Yeah, but anyways, Kevin Lee versus Tony Ferguson gets me excited.
Good fight.
It's on 216. Good
Maybe not the top contenders who should be fighting for the interim heavyweight belt.
I like it.
It should be Khabib Ferguson.
You can't
but
trust
I get
him.
it from a marketing standpoint.
And
absolutely.
marketing.
That was their next two guy, which is interesting. How did Kevin Lee jump up this fast? He kind of did when he beat Chiesa.
It was huge. It was main event.
I'm a huge Chiesa fan.
Me too.
I thought it was I don't know if I'd say a controversial stoppage.
It wasn't, because he would have gone out in 2 more seconds. But I was rooting for Chiesa.
I think he would have.
At first, I thought it was bullshit.
It was in there, but he didn't tap too. Ref stopped it early, but
that's true.
Was it the inevitable? Probably. It was close to the end.
He was 2 seconds away from going out.
Yeah.
So.
Probably 5, but.
His arms were not doing a natural motion for a fight. But hey, he got the win. He would have beaten Chiesa eventually. I think I picked Chiesa, honestly. So I was bummed, but he's fighting Tony Ferguson. I'm happy for Kevin Lee, but I'm the biggest Tony Ferguson fan, so picking him all day. Another fight that got announced for 216 was Fabricio Verdum versus Derek Lewis, and I am confident in my pick. It will be my official pick, and it's Verdum.
I knew it was going to be.
Derek Lewis...
That's going to be the favorite.
Dude, did he just lose to Mark Hunt? Was that it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Verdum's beating you all day if you just lost to Mark Hunt. The height. I know the height that Derek Lewis can fight at. I don't think he can beat the top 4 guys, but he's a top 5 guy, I guess. So I'm excited. Derek Lewis is my favorite person to follow on Instagram, so huge Derek Lewis fan.
I disagree. I don't think Derek Lewis is top 5 heavyweight.
I say number 5, but yeah.
Yeah. He's, to me, it seems like his career will take him more in a 6 to 10, 7 to 12,
For sure.
I think is where he'll
I think he's top 10.
He'll hover around 7 to 12.
He's top 10.
Yeah. But I could see him falling, into the 12s, high, low teens, but love watching him fight. Dude is a beast. But he's just...
He's the Black Beast.
Doesn't push the pace. Kind of relies too much on those one power punches, and Verdum just has too much experience on him. And when Verdum takes him down,
it's over.
It's very much over.
All Verdum has to do is fight smart, and he wins the fight. He fights smart, he wins.
Smart fight, but you never know. Derek Lewis
it's heavyweight.
Anything can always finish it, but he gasses so quick. Just take him to the 3rd round, and he'll fall. You push him, he'll fall over probably. So.
He can knock out Verdum for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
And
he's more dangerous on the feet than Verdum, but it's not like he's he's very technical. If he was more technical, I'd be like, all right, he has a better chance. But
if it goes to the ground, which there's a 50% chance, it's over.
Oh, there's more than a 50% chance.
Well, I'm just saying,
And then Derek Lewis was good at getting up last time, but he, like we've said before, Verdum is top 5 jiu-jitsu guy
in the UFC.
Yeah, even that might be underselling. He might be top 3. So
yeah.
But fun fight. Always the heavyweights. You never know how it's going to go. That's why they're so fun. A knockout is possible at any second.
That's the
quick
best
cross, an uppercut, the guy drops. And
that's why Derek Lewis throws the one punches, because he's like, I'm going to knock you out if I hit you with one of these. Yeah. So
maybe a little conditioning might help him in this, but he's not going to do it. He's not going to do it. So.
He's all of 265. So
he is. Dude walks around at 300.
And then the last fight we want to break or just talk about, because it was announced this week, was November 25th in Shanghai, China. The main event is Anderson Silva versus Calvin Gastelum. I'm happy for Calvin that he gets a easy opponent that makes him a star because he's fighting a legend. But Kelvin, if I knew how to bet online, I'm picking Kelvin. I'm putting all my money on Kelvin. This is an easy win for him.
Fun fight.
Fun fight, but I think it's over in the first round.
It's going to be a stand-up. No, absolutely
you don't think
not.
So? Kelvin knocks him out in the first round.
Kelvin's not knocking him out.
Yep, he is.
Just because he dropped Weidman, that's a little easier. If Silva has his hands up, that's easier.
Silva will have his hands down because he showboats. No, he'll take this fight seriously, but I think Kelvin has more tools. Kelvin wins this fight easily.
Calvin's more than 15 years younger. Calvin's 24. Silva's 40.
Yeah,
that's
Kelvin's 25,
insane.
But still, yeah.
Silva's at least 40.
42.
Jeez, 17
yeah, I didn't know it was 42.
17.
So he is
years.
Okay. Yeah, but no, Kelvin's in his prime. He's getting to be in his prime right now, and Silva is on the decline. He's just fighting to get paid good money. So
I don't know. I think Silva still thinks he's
Do
a
you
top
think
guy, and he is. I think he is.
Could win the
at least
fight?
at middleweight. I think he can. I think he can catch him, but man, it's a 5-round fight too.
Yep.
I don't know. I don't really care. I just like seeing two stand-up guys. As long as it doesn't go to the ground, I'm interested. But definitely, Calvin's going to be the favorite.
It's in China, Shanghai. That's crazy. But it's a good main event for China.
It's random too. Neither of them are really in that market, but
I know it's probably going to be on a Fight Pass or something because it's in China. But who knows?
Yeah, that'll just be a good fight. A legend versus an up and comer, and Gastelum needs this. Silva doesn't really need any fight. He's not going to be fighting for the belt anytime soon.
I'm surprised Silva took this fight. Honestly, seems very risky.
Question:
what do you gain? But go ahead.
You saying what does Silva gain?
Yeah, but I want to hear your question.
And that's exactly what I was just going to talk about. Silva doesn't gain anything anymore from getting fights, from winning fights.
Do you think they're trying to use his name for the up-and-comers?
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. He's a litmus test at this point, which is kind of sad. But
I don't know what that means, but I got
you. He's a test to see, all right, can you beat this old vet? If you can, then you're legit.
It's not the old vet, it's the name. Like, it's Anderson Silva.
Yeah. So. Greatest of all time.
Arguably. Him and John Jones.
That's fair. That's the one argument. And here's my thing. I've never said McGregor is greatest of all time, but if he get, like we were saying earlier, if he goes into Russia and beats Khabib, he's right up there. Because that is badass.
Yeah.
None of his other fights, most of his fights, when you look at it, outside of Jose Aldo, honestly weren't super impressive. He got the finishes, but they were guys, if you look at their stats, he should have been winning. He was just so much bigger than all these guys.
Yeah, and that's the perfect segue because we've talked about Silva, Gastelum. We're jumping into Conor McGregor
let's just jump into it.
I want to... If he... Well, okay, so you were looking at
tossing me another raging bitch.
Raging bitch. The Belgian IPA. Out of respect. Romelu Lukaku. Anyways.
Romelu. Fulani.
That's so... Walter, this is not a soccer podcast. It's Fellaini. But anyways, dude, I wasn't even thinking of the MMA side with Conor McGregor. I was thinking more... Because you just said if Conor fought Khabib, let's even say in Russia, and beat Khabib, that's you have to consider him one of the greatest of all time. But what if he beats Mayweather and then beats Khabib? Is he greatest athlete of all time? Dude, we're getting way too ahead of ourselves, but
Yeah, that's quite into the future. You fought an old Mayweather, very out of his prime.
49-0, best defensive boxer of all time.
Yeah, defensive boxer. Also, McGregor's considerably bigger than Mayweather. So
Not
you're fighting a
considerably,
guy,
a little bit bigger.
but if McGregor was a boxer, they aren't really. It's like it's a weight class above. And you look at McGregor, and he already complains about having to fight welterweights. To me, he's a natural lightweight. He's a lightweight. McGregor, he's not a featherweight. He's a lightweight.
Yeah, it's not, but he did win the belt.
So when he goes up one, he complains that he's, Nate Diaz was so much bigger than me. Nate Diaz is a lightweight.
He
too.
never said that.
No, but people were complaining about that. I think he did. But I don't know. I would definitely put him up there as one of the best mixed martial artists of all time. I think his height plays into that a little bit, but the Jose Aldo knockout was legendary. But outside of that, like, beat Chad Mendes. Okay.
I want to talk about Conor McGregor from the beginning. I feel like because we'll go more in depth about the fight next week because it's happening a week from tomorrow. But I want to talk about.
Who is Conor McGregor? Yeah.
Who is? I remember Ariel Helwani was going to have him on the show, and he mentioned he was gonna have Conor on maybe 5 years ago, and I just tweeted. I think I tweeted at Ariel, and I was like, "Who's this Conor McGregor guy? I've just been hearing about him for the last week. I don't know what's going on." And some random fan responded, "He's a top Irish prospect coming up, and he's going to fight, and he wants to fight in the UFC." And then the next week, Ariel interviewed him, and he was eating blueberries, and he was saying, "I'm on welfare checks and just not making shit. I've no pot to piss in." That was his big line. "I have no pot to piss in." And
now he makes fun of people not having money.
But anyways, his first fight.
Move on.
I just remember his first fight against Marcus Brimage. I'm like, let's see what this Conor McGregor's all about. Knocked him out in like a minute, and then from there on, he's just owned what he has and made himself a superstar. And I've just appreciated it's been so cool in my life. This is the first guy that I saw build himself up, go from nothing to a huge superstar with a fight against Floyd Mayweather. So couldn't be more happy for him. I'm not super. The fight might kind of suck, but the build up has been so fun for me, seeing all the press conferences and stuff. What do you think?
I'm kind of in the same boat. I didn't know who McGregor was until he started fighting guys, but in the UFC. But it just seemed like his path was just somewhat easy into becoming the featherweight champ. Like
he did it the smart way, though.
But yeah, and that's the thing. That is what makes Conor one of the all-time greats, is because he knows how to market himself, and he knew how to pick his fights.
And he knew how to avoid Frankie Edgar. He was an expert at avoiding Frankie Edgar.
and a lot of other guys, he picked the best fights for him. I remember
Dennis Seaver.
Knocking out Dennis Seaver. Like, his highlight reels, you can't even name some of these guys he's knocking out. It's like, all right, well, but all of that, he couldn't have had a luckier night against Jose Aldo. That was just a freak thing, but I mean, at the same time, dude's got power.
I couldn't agree with you more. Like, you want to say a freak thing, but Jose landed his right as Conor was landing. Wait, no. Jose was landing a left. He hit Conor on the chin, but Conor hits harder. So they hit at the same time. Jose was a little bit faster, actually, but Conor still landed, and it's like, could be a freak thing, but like,
it's not a freak thing. I mean, it was at the same time. Like, how often does someone get knocked out in 13? The first hit, you get knocked out.
The best featherweight of all time at that time.
But how unusual was it of Jose in that fight? Like, he never comes out like that. He was clearly
He was trying to put a pace on McGregor, and that was the problem. He pushed forward. Conor countered.
No, Conor
perfectly.
pissed him off, and then he got him out of his game.
And that's what made Jose push forward.
And that's another thing that makes him great, is that he's able to get in your head before you even get in the fight.
Yes.
We've seen one guy he couldn't do that to. Nate Diaz didn't get in his
And that's the thing. That's
the one thing that kind of stifles the McGregor thing. A guy who's never been a champion, but he's been one of your hardest competitors. And now we have a young, very young Max Holloway who went to decision with Conor McGregor. I think they had a little beef this week, too. We're talking... McGregor's like, I destroyed you. Yeah, he was 20, and you were, like, so much older than him. Like, yeah, you beat him up.
And guess what?
Got out of high school. You beat up a high schooler. You're, all right, you're badass.
The only featherweight you've never finished. The only featherweight you've never finished.
You never finished, and you guys are of similar size. Like,
but
now they fight... Man, I'm picking Max Holloway.
Justin Gaethje at lightweight and fight Max Holloway at featherweight. Those are the two fights.
But he doesn't want to fight. He wants to fight. He's
done it. But I'm saying those are the two fights that
he's good at picking his fights. I mean, Chad Mendes, like, he has to be the smallest featherweight of all time. Like, Conor had what, an 8-inch reach advantage against him, and
it was ridiculous.
And what he was in his camp for like 2 weeks. Like
at that, that's why McGregor.
You see a lot of people giving up in the McGregor fights.
That's why McGregor is so smart, because everyone at that time. Everyone wanted him to fight Chad Mendes, but he didn't say no. But he got Jose Aldo. But then Jose Aldo pulled out, and so. Thankfully, this is why McGregor's career has been so perfect, because he got the Chad Mendes fight, but Chad Mendes didn't get the full camp, which McGregor loved. He was like, great, now I get to fight Chad Mendes that people say I can't beat, but I have to fight him on 2 weeks' notice. I've been training this whole time. Chad has not been training, so I get to beat the guy that people think I couldn't beat, but it's in my advantage right now. So that's the thing. McGregor plays his cards right, where he takes the smart fights at the right time.
Why didn't people think he could beat Chad Mendes?
Because Chad's a wrestler, and we've seen Conor get taken down multiple times by Dennis Seaver.
But is Chad like an elite wrestler?
At featherweight, at that time, he was.
He was. Not anything like Frankie Edgar. Not anything. I wouldn't say elite.
In that division, I would say elite at that time.
Yeah,
at that time.
Fair at that time. It was kind of a weak.
He could take down anybody except Jose Aldo at that time.
Yeah.
Onobadan, I think, is actually still suspended, but
I don't think anyone cares to see him fight again. But
he had an epic fight with Jose Aldo. Both fights were really good. Jose knocked him out in the first fight. Second fight, 5-round decision. Fight of the night. Conor was cage side. Loved the fight, but I don't know. I think. I don't know if you know where I was going with that, but I want to get... we keep going back to UFC, but I want to stick to boxing now, because I want to talk about Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather.
All right.
I don't even know where to start with this, because it's so soon, and there's so much stuff going on with it, but I know who my pick is. I'm pretty confident with the pick.
Let's start with the pre-fight, the interviews.
The interviews, okay.
We'll get the Paul Maldonado, whatever.
Yep. So I guess we'll go back a few weeks with the press tour. They started in, I believe, Los Angeles. And I just want... Basically, I'm going to buy the pay-per-view. The money that I'm paying for that pay-per-view, I'm not paying for the fight. I'm paying the money for all the pre-fight stuff, because we're seeing the greatest I would say the greatest boxer of all time, defensive, but I think he's the greatest, because he's never been knocked down. So, the greatest boxer going against the MMA guy. This has never happened in the history of sports. I mean, Walter. I told Walter maybe a year ago. I'm like, McGregor Mayweather can never happen.
Yeah.
But in my defense, at that time, I didn't say that it couldn't happen. I might have, but.
You did.
Okay. But at that time, it was never going to happen. And I knew the sources that were... Nope, stop. Let me finish. Let me finish.
I predict these things.
Let me finish. I predict these things. I believe at that time... I knew at that time, like, it can't happen right now. Ariel Helwani is a legit source, and he said it's not happening. And it wasn't at that time, but it did take a few months. It did happen. So I was 50% right, wrong. Walter got it right, sort of.
Like 100% right. But
You said it was going to happen. You didn't say it could happen. Whatever.
I did. You're absolutely right. I said it's going to happen, and,
right.
it did.
Whatever.
So
I feel like but
like
at that time I wasn't wrong. But
at the time you were wrong.
Basically, I was basically. This is like a spectacle. I think the fight's going to suck, but it's going to be a spectacle. There's boxing experts that say that Conor won't land a punch, won't win a round. Conor wins rounds. He doesn't win one round. I feel like he's going to win 4 or 5 rounds. Because I feel Floyd likes to... Floyd has never fought someone with the style that Conor is. And Conor's not a boxer. He's an MMA fighter. So he's going to be... I think Conor wins the first, second round. Floyd kind of downloads the what Conor has and all that. But I think Floyd takes over and wins the last 7 rounds. I'm not going to lie. I'm not a huge boxing fan. I've seen maybe 10 boxing matches. I've seen highlights, but not a huge boxing guy. But I'm such a diehard Conor McGregor fan. Just the spectacle of it. You can't miss out watching this fight. So I'm picking Floyd. I think Floyd wins by decision. And I really want to hear your thoughts because we haven't talked too much about it. And we'll talk about Paulie Malignaggi and all that shit later. I just want to hear what your view on the fight in general. You can start from the beginning.
Fight in general. Fight in general. If it goes the distance, it's going to be Mayweather. But I don't know. What is it? 3 knockdowns and that's a knockout or something in boxing?
3 knockdowns in a round, I think. You know what?
It has to be in a round.
We're so inexperienced in boxing.
Yeah,
I'm not positive. I think it's 3 knockdowns in the fight. Maybe I'm lying if I say that, so I'm not sure.
Look it up for next week.
How familiar are you with boxing? Because I feel like we've never ever talked about boxing before.
Super familiar.
Have you seen a boxing match?
I've seen a decent amount.
Okay.
Like you said, probably 10. None of the greats or anything like that. A few Mike Tyson fights. So.
The last one I remember was when I was sitting here on my laptop watching Anthony Joshua versus Klitschko, who just retired. And I was like, dude, he just had, like, the greatest entrance, and he hasn't even fought yet. They had, like, his initials on fire, like, lighting up his initials, like, AJ, and, like, he went on this podium, and it raised up, and I'm like, dude, you haven't even fought yet. Like, how are you fighting? But he was fighting in England in his hometown in front of 70,000 people, so I guess people are into boxing.
Want that flair. It's like...
But it was crazy. Like, I've never been that into, like, an intro. I'm like... how
what
can
about the McGregor intro?
They're good, but dude, is there fire? And does he get on a podium that raises 20 feet?
It's hard to beat fire.
It's hard to beat fire, and it has your initials. Like, no, it was so boxing's hot. I'm interested. Conor's intros are one of my top 3 favorite in MMA. Yeah, Sinead O'Connor come in with the Irish shit. I don't know.
Yeah. Man, yeah. It'll be interesting. Think decisions going to Floyd if it happens.
If there's a finish, it's Conor knocking out Floyd.
Yeah, I don't see Floyd knocking out Conor. Look at their reach. Conor has a long reach for someone his height. According to Michael Angelo, he's supposed to be 6'2". He's got the reach of a 6'2" person. If your height's supposed to be a reach, Conor should be 6'2". He should be a middleweight. That's an insane reach, 74 inches. But look at Mayweather. He's got 72. He's got a long reach, too. So that probably helped in his boxing. But
let's ignore the reach. Let's talk about, like, experience. What do you... Ignore... No. We're talking about a guy that is 0-0 in boxing. And the guy that is 49-0. What do you think about that?
There's a lot of other factors outside of that. Mayweather's kind of old. McGregor's he's 12 years younger.
Mayweather has beat the greatest boxers in his divisions. Multiple. He has multiple world titles. And he's fighting a guy 0-0.
Yeah, fighting a guy 0-0, but a guy... I don't even know. McGregor's...
Never gone 12 rounds.
never gone 12 rounds, but never got so many breaks between his fighting. I think it's easier to go 3 rounds with a minute break in between for 12 rounds than 5 rounds for 5 minutes with a break in between. I think that would be harder. Going longer without a break is harder than all those breaks. Because, I mean, and there's less you have to worry about. You just have to worry about getting punched. You know, pull up, have your giant gloves in front of your head, and I mean that's going to stop most of the impact. And they're not heavyweights; they're not hitting super hard. I mean, they're probably still hitting hard. I mean, it knocked me out, but at the same time.
So you heard that this week,
Yeah.
the Nevada State Athletic Commission, it was supposed to, this weight class is supposed to be 10-ounce gloves, but now it got
10?
moved to.
That was 12.
No, I'm 90% sure it's 10.
I thought all boxing gloves were 12. But I don't know. I don't know.
No, I'm pretty sure it's 10 because I think I remember that it only went down 2 ounces.
Because that's halfway between boxing and MMA.
Yeah, no, that does. The MMA thing had nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
No, it was 10-ounce gloves. I don't fact check, but I'm pretty sure. But it went down from 10 ounces to 8 ounces, and it was crazy because it wasn't in the contract. Nothing about the gloves. That's just at the weight that they're fighting at, 154. It's supposed to be 10-ounce gloves. Nevada State Athletic Commission moved it down to 8 because they all fucked up. That's the thing. So it's very controversial, but
it shouldn't.
I don't know.
It shouldn't be controversial.
It's just like because it's like not a law, but it's like a rule that it has to be 10-ounce gloves.
But if both the fighters say, "Let's go down," then,
right, then you
respect them.
Let's say a fighter gets in a coma.
Okay.
Let's just say, then they went. You could blame it on them saying, "Oh, we'll do 8-ounce gloves." Not like that's going to happen, but that's the controversy.
So they're liable. So does their insurance not cover that or something? I'm sure they
No,
have.
but anyways, they're going to 8-ounce gloves. I don't know why Floyd requested it. I think that it would be in his favor, but he is very mistaken.
That was in. They were talking shit in the press conferences. He's like, "Go down, lower gloves." He's like, "I'll go down to the gloves, whatever gloves you want."
Floyd also said that he would
bit.
fight MMA against Conor, so he's just making shit up. He will never. If he fights Conor in MMA, I will pay you $1,000. You pay me $10 if Floyd doesn't fight in MMA. I pay you $1,000 if he does.
Never would. That would be stupid.
Yeah, so just you have the chance to make me $1,000,
and that's why I don't think that.
So he just says shit. But the 8-ounce gloves, I think it works more in Conor McGregor's
it absolutely
favor.
Does.
And Floyd, I think, is mistaken here, and it gives Conor a better chance.
It does, and Conor was smart to challenge him on that. Because, he's going to want to say, "Oh, I don't want to." He's like, "Yeah, I'm fine with that." And he's like, all right. He's never been in a professional fight where the gloves are that light. And you just look at it, the lighter the gloves get, the more likely you're going to get knocked out. And that just plays in Conor McGregor's favor, and the harder hitting, everything like that. So this is kind of a first. He's 49-0, but he's 0-0 in 8-ounce glove fights.
No, that's completely wrong.
I have no clue.
Yeah.
I was just guessing.
No, I will correct you.
Please.
Floyd never fights this high up. He's usually down in the 40s where the 8-ounce gloves are official. So Floyd has fought the majority of his career.
40s?
Like 140s. This fight's at 154.
Yeah.
But Floyd usually fights in the 140s.
Oh, so Floyd, that's his natural weight.
Yeah, that's his natural weight. So
Connor's a weight class above him, too. I mean, we
a
already
little
kind of
bit.
know that.
Floyd has fought up there
much.
once or twice. We're such amateurs talking about boxing because we don't know.
I don't know.
I know Floyd has fought a couple times in the 50s, but he's mostly a 140s
Just
fighter.
look at him. Connor is a weight class above him.
So that's where he uses 8-ounce gloves most of the time he fights. So. So he's
that's probably that's probably more comfortable for him.
I want to hear so that's maybe why I said that, but I want to hear how you think the fight's going to go, like what's going to happen, who's going to win.
My pick's McGregor.
You're crazy, but I want to hear go into detail.
If it's decision, it's definitely Mayweather, but I think Connor's smart enough and not worried enough about. I don't see Mayweather knocking him out.
No,
he may drop him once.
Body shot.
I think still don't think.
I think Floyd might beat him by body shot.
I don't think Floyd packs the power. I just don't think he
Can
does.
I kind of add on to why you're picking McGregor? Do you think another reason is in all the pre-fight stuff, Mayweather...
I didn't watch most of the pre-fight stuff.
No, but just mentally, just between Mayweather and McGregor. Mayweather has always been, I think, in his opponents' heads. I think his opponents all knew that they were getting a heavy their biggest paycheck of their life because Mayweather's so popular and you're going to get the pay-per-views. But Mayweather talks so much shit to his opponents that I think it got in their head, kind of like McGregor had done in the UFC. McGregor, who's 0-0 as a boxer, I feel like has not been worried about Mayweather's trash talk. In fact, I think McGregor's trash talk is better than Mayweather's. And this is the first fighter Mayweather has ever faced that has talked so much shit to them. And Mayweather... Don't get me wrong. I don't think he's been fazed by it. In all the press conferences, he has been chill. He's been laughing it off. He's like, I think he's laughing, and in his head is like, this is more bucks in this is more pay-per-view buys. Like, I got the buys, so I'm good. But at the same time, Mayweather has never been he's always been the dominant trash talker. But Conor McGregor is, if he's not ahead, he's at the same level as Mayweather. So, even though McGregor's not in Mayweather's head, I feel like McGregor has a little bit more advantage than all Mayweather's other opponents because he's talking shit back. Pacquiao, his biggest opponent, never talks shit. All his opponents, they're not superior. Or Floyd's the superior fighter, so I feel like McGregor isn't in Floyd's head, but he's given him a fight before the fight, like just kind of talking trash. So that's why I feel like that you can have the advantage.
And I don't think the trash talk affects either of them, so I just negate really all the trash talk. They're both so used to it. They're professionals. They don't care. They don't care what the other one thinks. They both believe in themselves. So they've both been at the top of their sport.
Yeah, so what makes you... I want to hear why you're picking McGregor because...
His youth, he's significantly younger. Mayweather hasn't fought in a while.
2 years. He's retired before, too.
McGregor is an MMA weight class above what Mayweather would fight at. Mayweather would be a bantam.
No. Featherweight.
He could cut to bantam.
Yeah, but he's a... Yeah. Boxing weight doesn't...
At least. Okay, I know, I'm not saying the boxing weight classes. I'm saying the MMA weight classes, which are even... bigger difference between the boxing. I'm saying they are an MMA weight class apart.
So is your biggest factor age? Is that why you're picking McGregor more because of age?
No, it's in there.
What's the biggest factor?
Age, reach.
Reach?
The size of the gloves was kind of significant too.
But what's the biggest? If you had to pick one, the biggest reason why you're picking McGregor?
Age. I would have to say age. They've both been in fights. I mean, McGregor hasn't been in as many boxing fights, but I think it's harder to be in an MMA fight than a boxing fight.
Floyd's been top of the game for 21 years or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Never been
From when he was 20.
Never been knocked down.
Yep.
And you think, and I'm just playing devil's advocate, and so you think a guy that has never fought boxing can land on Floyd and literally knock him down for the first time ever in his career?
And that's like saying McGregor's never fought boxing. McGregor is boxed for every training camp he's ever fought in MMA.
Boxing and MMA are completely different.
No, they're not. They're not. MMA, you train everything, and McGregor's boxed in his MMA training. Absolutely. Not to say that he specialized in it.
Yeah.
No, but he specialized in stand-up. He throws punches every single day. It's not like he's not used to it. It's not like he's a tennis player and he's coming in here it's his tennis player. He's used to punching. And he's not going to be the more technical striker. He knows that. He completely knows that. He's not going to be the technical striker, but he's going to have more power. And he's going to have the reach.
Okay.
And he knows distance well. I don't think Mayweather has the ability to knock him out. I don't think
he doesn't, but he can. I think that's why I think he'll win by a body shot late in the rounds or decision. And I'm 90% decision, 10% body shot, but that's how I feel.
And I hope it doesn't go to decision, but yeah,
it will.
It might.
But what's your prediction like for the outcome? Or you're picking McGregor, but what round, or do you think you'll
Here's
win
what
by
I think.
decision?
I think it'll be, there's a 30% chance it's a finish. 25% chance it's a finish. 75% chance it goes to decision. Decision, it's not going to McGregor. But
Well, you just said you're picking McGregor.
yeah, I'm picking McGregor. I think he's going to win. I'm just saying.
So you're taking that 25% chance that
if I was betting my actual money on it,
yeah.
no, I'd be a little bit more smart with it. But what I think is going to happen between what I think the percentages are going to happen is a little different. But I think McGregor will beat him.
Dude, as soon as the odds came out, like a few months ago, Brendan Shaw bet $4,000 that McGregor would win at least one round. He bet $4,000, 15-1 odds. If he wins,
15-1 odds.
That's how crazy. Yeah, at that time. Now it's like good luck making money. Like you have to bet a lot.
Yeah.
But he did that as soon as it came out, and he's going to make like 60, 80. I don't know math, but 60, 80
really
grand
smart.
off for you.
You could just win the first round.
Go
as hard as you can.
Yeah, he's like, so I picked, and then he bet Max Kellerman on ESPN $100,000. Because Max Kellerman said Conor won't land one punch and won't win one round. Like he won't land a punch.
That's stupid.
He's
That's idiotic.
Yeah.
He's not going to.
It's the boxing experts that don't know MMA. That's the thing.
They act like MMA guys aren't good at boxing, but they practice boxing too. It's a different type of striking for sure. So it'll be interesting.
That's what's interesting about this fight because Floyd has fought all boxers. Now he's fighting a guy that he'll switch stances on. He goes southpaw, orthodox. He'll just switch it up. His left hand, you can't stop it.
And man, now I'm almost kind of switching my pick here, but I think McGregor might be underestimating Mayweather.
No, he's not. He's not. Nope. Not a chance.
I think he is. I don't think McGregor's really stood with guys. Well, he hasn't stood with anybody who has the stand-up like Mayweather does. I won't say he's underestimating him, but I just don't think he's ever fought
or
even ever sparred with anybody like Mayweather.
Never.
So I think once he starts getting tagged, you can see it. And you've seen it in the past fights when McGregor's lost. Once he gets tagged, he loses a lot of confidence. And it drops quick. McGregor.
Oh, okay.
Once he starts getting tagged.
Yeah.
I mean, not Mayweather. He's never lost. So, yeah. But McGregor, once he starts getting tagged, he starts to doubt himself, and you can see it.
No, I disagree. It's more of when he gets tired, then his boxing gets kind of weak. Or then his like martial arts, like he gets exhausted.
So the sport that he's supposed to be good at, he starts getting bad at.
He just needs to pace himself. That's the thing. His key to win is to knock out Floyd early, but also if he doesn't, he better fucking pace himself. And that's the.
He's learned from that. But they get so many breaks in boxing.
Yeah,
it's only 3 minutes. That's not that. And
it's all
you're only throwing arms. Yeah, you're only throwing arms. You don't have to throw kicks. You don't have to worry about the takedown. Yeah, but he's been doing this his whole life. Like, in terms of how much cardio you have to have, it's so much more in MMA than it is in boxing. So
yeah,
his cardio is gonna be better than it has been in any MMA fight.
But you're for real picking Conor?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow. Wait, you're serious?
Yeah. It's my official pick. It won't
name one
change.
fight you've seen Floyd fight in.
0. I've never seen Floyd fight.
So that's why this is an unintelligent pick, and that's why I've seen.
I'm
Floyd
absolutely.
fight.
I'm agreeing. Would I put money on it? No, but on this podcast, I'm picking Mayweather.
No, you're taking McGregor.
McGregor. McGregor. God, two
Jesus.
M's. They sound so much alike.
This raging bitch. No, I'm glad you're taking McGregor because you're definitely going to lose to me because Floyd will win this fight. But, dude, I
think it's 70-30. McGregor's 30, but
90-10. 90-10.
But who else shows up more in those moments when they need to show?
Floyd, every time.
By decision or by knockout?
Yep, by decision. And guess what?
McGregor shows up by knockout.
Guess what? Floyd's getting paid 100 times more than Conor doing his decisions. So keep telling me that Conor's getting decisions in the UFC.
Is it all time? Oh, okay.
Keep telling me Conor's getting paid good for getting decisions or getting finishes.
Getting paid.
Guess what? That's all Floyd cares about. So
that's why they did this fight. That's why this fight's even happening, because they both want to get paid. This is the biggest payday they could both possibly happen. It's not going to affect their performance at all. They both want to win.
Yep. And that's the thing.
So the pay has nothing to do with it.
Some people think that Conor's just doing this fight to get his payday. Nope. Conor believes in his heart that he's going to win this fight. So.
I don't think he cares if he loses, though.
Nope.
I don't think he cares.
You're wrong.
No,
Okay.
Not like MMA. Not like MMA.
True, but in his heart, he's winning this fight. There's no doubt in his mind that he's losing this fight.
He would be, if he loses, the Nate Diaz loss would be more upsetting to him than the Mayweather loss.
I think he's so competitive, he wants to win. Nope, I disagree.
I disagree with you.
Let's agree to disagree.
No.
Conor is such a competitor. If he loses this fight, he's still going to be upset. Conor is in this fight to win. He's not in it to make his...
he's not going in, like, I'm just going to, just last with this guy. Obviously, he wants to win. Yeah, he's a competitor. He wants to win. But at the end of the day, this isn't his sport. And that's what he's going to rationalize to himself. Well, this isn't my sport. This
after I beat
Floyd, was just for money.
I run boxing.
Yeah. Because if he does beat Floyd, that's just more money for him,
Biggest superstar of all time, sports related. Biggest athlete. Most recognized, most famous.
Yeah. Notice you aren't saying best fighter of all time.
Best fighter of all time.
Most recognized.
I'm saying...
Most recognized, absolutely.
Most recognized. I'm happy
absolutely, but
bigger than Messi, Ronaldo. Nope, bigger than all that.
I don't know about that worldwide.
If he beats Floyd, we'll see afterwards.
We'll see.
But
it'll be a rematch, and he'll make some more money.
He'll make double. Because now he's the A side. I give Conor a 10% chance of winning this fight. Anything can happen, but there's no way he beats Floyd. I just don't see it. I'm trying to get convinced. There's been some people that I've been like, okay, I understand. Like, he's the age thing that you said. That's the biggest factor. We're talking about a 29-year-old against a 40-year-old, but Floyd runs
who hasn't fought in 2 years. Also, I don't think Mayweather's strikes are going to... So he'll let Mayweather get a jab or two, and then he's coming in hard. Might knock Mayweather off balance.
Floyd knows how to win rounds. Conor...
Floyd does, but not against guys this size.
You've also never seen Floyd fight, so...
Yeah, I've also never seen Floyd fight someone this big. Oh, because he hasn't fought anybody this big.
He has, but...
Who?
I don't know the name.
Yeah, exactly.
I know that... No, I'm saying I don't know the name, but he has.
You can just say that. You can say that.
Yeah, I just did.
Yeah, you can say it. Doesn't make it true.
Oh, okay.
You can say whatever. Yeah, Floyd's fought a heavyweight. All right. So you have Mayweather. That's a Jeremy pick.
Yeah, so I'm picking Mayweather. Next week we're probably just gonna talk about more UFC news. There'll probably be more news, but I want to keep talking about Mayweather McGregor and just break it down more. We'll see. Maybe there'll be a press conference before or weigh-ins. I don't know, but
they do another press conference.
They might. I'm not sure yet, but I'm just thinking the UFC does, but. I don't know how the boxing community does it. I think they will. It'll who knows? They'll have the weigh-ins, though.
It's been pretty clear we don't know much about boxing. I think.
Very clear.
But whatever.
Yeah, so we're just going to talk about the Mayweather-McGregor fight next week because there's no MMA this month. Oh, let's talk about one more thing. I want to talk about one more thing. I don't know how you feel or even if you care, but... Frank Mir just signed with Bellator.
That's right.
I think that's pretty big news because Frank Mir has only fought in the UFC. So I feel like him fighting in Bellator is good for Bellator. You got Matt Mitrione, you got Fedor. He's out till April, suspended till April. But commentating, he's one of the best commentators in the game. He hasn't done it in a long time, but he did it for WEC, and he was my favorite WEC commentator. Yeah. Joe Rogan raves about him. Brendan Shaw raves about him, saying that he's the best because he just breaks it down. Like especially when it goes to the ground, he's an expert in it, and he breaks it down in like a smart way. Guy. Yeah, but having him just to be like in the commentary box or fighting. There's great fights for him. And I'm happy for him because he'd be fighting top guys in the UFC, and he'd just be getting knocked out because he does get knocked out. I think all of his losses are knockout, maybe except one. But I feel like he has good fights to have at Bellator. Good. I'm excited for Matt Mitrione, Fedor, either of those. Those are fun matchups.
It's just the Bellator strategy at the moment, taking the guy, the underappreciated or vets of
But they pay you well.
UFC.
They pay you well.
Oh, and that's why they're going.
Less damage, and they pay you. They pay you well, and they treat you well. That's the big thing. So,
I mean, could they eventually take over the UFC? Maybe.
Never.
They got to keep getting the
Never.
names, but at the moment,
You're doing good.
Let's go to these soccer analogies. UFC's Premier League, Bellator's the MLS. You know, they're snagging all the old vets from the Premier League and all the other leagues.
Roy McDonald.
That's not an old vet. That's,
They have a few.
Man, I wish Roy was still in the UFC, but it's all good. I'm glad he's getting paid. So
He's getting paid.
Yeah.
They treat you well. They respect you. They
need to get those up and comers in Bellator first, and then I would love to see just Bellator versus UFC. Take a Bellator champion against a UFC champion, but I really don't see UFC taking that risk.
The big one was when Eddie Alvarez came over from Bellator, and then he fought Dos Anjos. That was a huge fight at the time because he was the Bellator guy. So Bellator can. They have fighters that can compete in the UFC, but they give better contracts. They respect their fighters, and it's not just a business. Like, they actually want their fighters to fight for them, and they respect them, and they pay them well. So that's why Bellator does put on good cards.
Yeah, they do. They're just a better business. I don't know if it's a more entertaining business.
But I'm happy that they got Frank Mir. They just keep getting big name. It's all about the names for them, and I'm happy.
But they're all 30 plus minus.
Sure,
which is fine.
They're getting the big names, but I'm just happy that Frank Mir finally can be happy and get his fight because he wanted the release for a while because he's like, you saw some bullshit. I don't know what the drama was with what he had in the system, but I'm just happy that Frank Mir's in Bellator. You get to see him fight. It'll be different to see him fight in Bellator, but yeah. I feel like we covered everything. I feel like we covered everything this week.
UFC drama this week.
There's been a lot of fights called, but damn.
Lots to look forward to in
so much
October, November. This fall is going to be a
lot
of stuff going on. So
a lot of good fights. So we'll be back next week. Who knows what we'll be talking about? Probably Mayweather, McGregor, and some other bullshit.
More informed Mayweather, McGregor.
Maybe we'll watch a couple boxing matches. So
I don't know about that.
Yeah. All right.